What's up, everyone? I'm Jenny.
And I'm Jessie.
You're listening to Milkshakes and Ghosts.
It's Turkey Month.
You're calling November Turkey Month?
Well, I sure am. This is the month that everyone eats turkey.
Yeah, I guess that's pretty accurate. So November is the only time I'll cook turkey since it is Thanksgiving. And then, we'll probably have an extra turkey for December since Christmas rolls right around the corner. And my turkeys are good.
That's so sad.
What's that?
Well, not to sound morbid, but we all have to die someday.
Yeah, okay. I guess that's pretty sad. You went morbid really quick on this show today. So what does that have to do with Thanksgiving, though?
Well, I'm not lying. We all die at some point in life. We just don't know when. However, turkeys know their exact death date. Thanksgiving.
That's messed up. That's morbid, man. But very true. That's a really grim joke, Jessie.
I don't like the Grim Reaper for all those turkeys. That's a knee slapper.
You're too much. Well, I guess you're full of jokes today. I'm curious. I see you drinking your milkshake right now as I'm speaking. How much sugar is in that cup of yours? What kind of milkshake did you make today?
So I'm super hyped today, and I wanted to get creative. So I added a whole box of vanilla cookies. Sorry to your bank account, but...
Oh my gosh.
So I decided to throw into the blender, along with some chocolate dairy-free milk, almost like half a gallon, because I'm really hyper. So, sorry to your bank account again. A couple of chocolate chips. When I mean a couple, I mean like 2 whole bags. Sorry to your bank account again.
Jessie!
I also put 3 to 3 to 7 scoops of non-dairy Ben & Jerry's ice cream, so.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have to give you 5 bottles of water after this. That's ridiculous. You can't put that much junk in it. So in other words, you're just drinking pure sugar today. That's what you're telling me.
No, I add other stuff to it, but it tastes really good.
I'm sure you think it does.
Let me guess, you're either drinking something with coffee or you're either drinking a smoothie, so.
Well, I already had my coffee today, okay? Thank you very much.
Thank God.
I'm about to get another cup. But
Lordy Lord.
I did want to try something different today. I decided to go with Breyer's chocolate peanut butter ice cream with a little bit of caramel drizzle. And then I blended it with some milk and a half a cup of ice into the blender. It's okay. It's just missing coffee, but it tastes pretty good.
Well, would it be better with coffee or no coffee?
Coffee, of course.
Well, no more coffee for you.
Look, the world would be over. And I do mean over without coffee. I need coffee, girl, every day.
Technically, it wouldn't because kids don't like coffee, so.
Sugar is worse than coffee. I feel that coffee has way more benefits than all that sugar in your cup, okay?
You're joking, right?
No, I'm actually not. Google it after this. Coffee has some good benefits as long as you don't drink it too much. And I don't drink it too much. I drink a cup a day. I drink a cup a day. That's not included with the espresso. But yeah, as long as you don't overkill it, you're good.
You drunk 3 cups of coffee today.
I mean, not in all one shot. It was 1 cup at 3 different times, if that makes sense. Because I can't finish a whole cup in 5 seconds. Coffee, I got to take my time with.
Morning, lunch, and dinner.
Basically, but it's the same cup.
I wanted to continue with spooky season since every month for us is October.
That's right. Spooky season never ends. What?
It sure doesn't. So for all of you listeners out there, my mom and I have decided to discuss some spooky Thanksgiving urban myths. I'm gonna go first, if that's okay with you.
Of course it's okay with me. I love hearing you talk.
I have a short tale on the Thanksgiving ghost.
That sounds like fun. I've never heard it though. What is a Thanksgiving ghost?
It's a very short story, but I thought it was perfect since we're in the month of Thanksgiving or / November. The Thanksgiving ghost is a spirit who haunts the railroad line in New York. So before I start, get your favorite milkshake and grab onto your blankie. Be wary, it's about to get scary. On Thanksgiving Day, 1902, a southbound train was nearing Geneva, New York, and came upon the Marsh Bridge. As the train approached the bridge, the engineer and firemen on board heard a piercing scream. When they looked up, they saw a white figure standing to the east of the bridge, frantically waving its arms. The engineer brought the train to a stop. As he did so, another scream blared like sirens wailing through the night. The apparition disappeared before their very eyes. The two men got out the train and inspected the track and surrounding area for the screaming apparition. Nothing was out of place on the track, and there was no sign of any person or thing nearby. As they started across the bridge, they heard a shriek one final time. The train pulled into the station, and the men shared their odd experience with the other railroad workers. They learned that there was an accident at the bridge years prior. The engineer and firemen both died when the train went off the Marsh Bridge. The article said that the fireman's body was lost to quicksand and never recovered. Ever since that accident, a shrieking phantom is said to be spotted on this bridge every year round Thanksgiving Day.
Wow. That's crazy that happened on Thanksgiving.
Well, I want to give a shout out to the source I got the story from. I found an article online that's called The Dead History. I was curious if the story was real or an urban legend, so I researched it a little more. I found an article on the incident that occurred on March 29, 1873. A train left Syracuse at 7:45 p.m., heading towards Rochester on the Auburn Road. Within half of a mile of the town of Geneva, the train ran into a sluice of water which had washed out a bridge over the Marsh Creek. The locomotive, tender, and baggage car fell off the track and down into the flooded waters. They practically disappeared under the water, and none of the passengers or the rest of the crew were seriously injured. The same could not be said for the engineer and the firemen. Both disappeared, and due to the raging waters, attempts to locate their bodies could not be made immediately. The body of the engineer, Ignatius Spulett, I hope I'm saying that name right, sorry if I'm not, he was found on the afternoon of Sunday, March 30th. The body of the fireman, Augustus Tipple, was found quite a distance away on the 31st of March. The incident became known as the Marsh Creek Casualty, or the Geneva Disaster. The families of both men sued the railroad for negligence in failing to properly maintain the bridge. Both families were later awarded money.
That's great that they were awarded money. However, money can't bring back the lives of their lost loved ones. That's just sad.
Exactly! I couldn't find any solid connection to the exact date of their death and Thanksgiving, but I still think the ghosts that people see are related to this incident. Maybe the spirits are restless and just miss their families for the holidays.
Or maybe they just want some turkey.
I'm pretty sure they want souls. I'm just kidding.
You're so grim today. Jeez.
I mean, it could be that too. They're just hungry ghosts for souls. I'm just kidding.
Well, maybe if someone leaves a plate of food for each of them, they'll stop haunting the place. Like I said, maybe they're just hungry. They want some turkey.
That's not a bad idea. We should try it.
All right, well, let's feed some ghosts. So, are you ready for my spooky Thanksgiving story, Jessie?
I'm holding on tight to my blanket and milkshake. I'm ready.
All right, I have a spooky Thanksgiving tale that revealed a murder. I know we don't talk about crime on our podcast, but this has to do with bringing restless spirits to their final peace. It's a tale of tragedy, conspiracy, mystery, and some heroism.
True crime meets everything spooky. This sounds like it's gonna be good.
Before I start, I want to shout out where I got this source from as well. I got it from a website called The Spooky Stuff. So if you're interested in hearing more about this tale I'm about to tell you, check out The Spooky Stuff online. Thanksgiving is a time for families to gather, a time to come together and feast. Turkey, pumpkin pie, and ghost. You heard right, ghost. Ghost stories are usually associated with Halloween. Well, not if you're us.
Ain't that the truth?
In 1832, over 57 Irish immigrant workers disappeared near Malvern, Pennsylvania. They were almost erased from history. Here's how a Thanksgiving ghost story saved an old local mystery. In 1909, Duffy's Cut, located in Pennsylvania, a man was walking home from a tavern. There he saw blue and green ghosts dancing beneath the moon. The Pennsylvania Railroad kept a record of this incident, so it is on record.
Yeah, I would want to investigate that and do a ghost hunt.
I wouldn't mind seeing some blue and green ghosts. That sounds pretty cool. So, the man who witnessed this, he stated that he saw it with his own eyes. The ghost of an Irishman who died of cholera a month before. This ghost was dancing around the big trench where it was buried. This ghost story was told every year on Thanksgiving. A grandpa told this story to his twin grandsons. His grandsons' names were Bill and Frank Watson. Their grandpa was a former railroad worker. The years went by and the brothers heard the story every year. Eventually, their grandfather passed away. The Watson twins then inherited their grandfather's old railroad papers. Turns out their grandpa was the assistant to Martin Clement, the president of the Pennsylvania Railroad. From there, they were shocked to find so many correspondence with the blue and green ghosts in that area. The twins started to believe that there was a mass burial ground created when the landfill was made. This area was also the site of the original railroad bridge. Duffy's Cut was a massive project to basically fill in a ravine so that the railroad could come through. Think of it like leveling a hill. Philip Duffy was in charge of the project. By 1930, Duffy was housing Irish immigrants in the rental home. Let me get back to the twins real quick. So in 2005, Bill and Frank Watson decided to start digging around that area. They found remnants of an old shack as well as forks. Then they found a pipe with an Irish flag on it. The brothers realized that they needed more help in order to find more information. They brought in a geophysicist named Tim Betchel. His work included earth scans. As Tim started to work on the area by shooting electrical currents through the ground, he soon realized there were strange areas where the current would stop. This soon turned into a massive excavation project. In March 2009, one of Tim's students made a horrifying discovery: a piece of human bone.
Oh no, did someone get murdered?
There's a lot more than just murder to this story, okay?
No wonder why people are seeing ghosts. The spirits are mad. Your phone died.
My phone is not dead. It is fully charged.
Sorry, y'all, for the wait. There's some weird stuff going wrong.
This is
the
second time that we've tried a podcast and some weird stuff is going on.
Yeah, something's wrong with this.
You had to see it to understand what just happened right now. Phone completely glitched. This doesn't make sense. This is crazy. Our notes got messed up somehow. This is just crazy.
Mind you, these are on our phones, so.
So, Janik Mong soon joined the forensics team as a key person to help separate animal bones from human bones. Since the discovery, 7 human skeletons have been found around Duffy's Cut. The skulls had cracks in them, indicating they had died from a blow to the head, either from a bullet or an axe. It's hard to conclude whether cholera was the culprit at this time of death, but it's clear that cholera didn't kill the men they've found so far. During the time, cholera was spreading and massive people were dying from it. At some point, the shack in Duffy's Cut housed some of the sick. After the infected passed away from the cholera, the shack became full of corpses. People in the town were fearful of getting infected from these corpses. They ended up burning the shack to the ground with all the dead bodies in it.
Is that the same shack the Watson brothers found fragments of?
Yes, it is. I'm so glad you're paying attention, Jesse. I'm so glad you're paying attention to this story. So glad.
I always pay attention.
Yeah, okay. Okay, yeah, sure you do. All right. The Watson brothers began attempting to find out the identity of the bones they were finding. Whether the death was from cholera or murder, they were determined to find every last body and bring it to rest.
That is amazing. We need more people like them.
We really do. They are the true heroes to the story. It's likely these bones the Watson brothers were finding were from a secret mass burial grave as a cover-up to the railroad company, so they could continue recruiting new workers. The Watsons sorted through their grandfather's papers in great detail. It turns out that many of these men were not recorded as having cholera or ever really working on the railroad.
Oh my god, talk about a plot twist.
Now, you're probably wondering, are the blue and green ghosts real?
I mean, are they real?
It's hard to say, since the eyewitnesses' testimony came from well over a century ago. I think there are a few possible theories to this, if the ghost story is true. Maybe the Irishman that had passed away and was burned in that shack in Duffy's Cut, Pennsylvania, maybe they were just hanging around in the afterlife and waiting for someone like the Watson brothers to put them to rest. Or these men didn't die from cholera, but dun dun dun, they were murdered.
Oh my god. Okay, I'm just speechless right now. You did say that some of the skulls they found had cracks in them. It could have been from the hit on the head with something really hard like a metal bat or whatever. I don't know if they had that back then though. Or maybe a metal pipe.
Exactly.
Maybe those people were murdered and were haunting the place for someone looking for them to solve their mystery or their death.
That could actually be the case, Jesse. I'm leaning more on that theory. I think most of those people were murdered, honestly. The ghosts just wanted the authorities to find their buried bodies. I think that's why people were seeing the green and blue ghosts under the moonlight. They were literally trying to show authorities, hey, I'm here, I'm buried here, come and find me. Does that make sense?
I mean, yeah, I guess. That actually makes a lot of sense now, so. Well, if the Watson brothers never started searching for the truth, those bodies may have never been found.
You're absolutely right. The Watson brothers are the heroes to the story. So, what started as a simple ghost story, told by an old grandpa to two of his grandsons, ended up being a discovery of many sick and murdered corpses. These people who died have now been put to rest.
That's amazing. A good ending to a good story.
Thank you so much, Jesse. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope all of you out there enjoyed our spooky Thanksgiving stories as well.
At least yours had a happy ending.
It sure did. For those of you listening, if you have a spooky story and want it to be read on our show, please write to milkshakesghosts@gmail.com. Today's episode was brought to you by Glossy Janitorial Services. If you're located in Central Florida, give Glossy Janitorial Services a call for residential and commercial cleaning. They're licensed and insured. Email them at glossycleaning@yahoo.com.
We're also on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Threads, Twitter, and Patreon. Please subscribe to our socials. We're trying to grow them, especially our YouTube. Our YouTube handle is @MilkshakesGhosts.
If you would like to become a Patreon member, please visit patreon.com/milkshakesandghost. I will link it in the show notes along with all of our other socials.
Join Patreon for free monthly gifts and cool perks.
Let's give a shout out to our awesome Patreon members.
join the trend.
Mr. E from Special Delivery Show. Check out the Special Delivery Show. His podcast takes interviews to a whole new level. I also want to give a warm welcome to our newest Patreon member, Daniel Hollis. Daniel has been a longtime listener to Milkshakes and Ghosts and my other podcast I do with my husband, Teddy, Cream in My Coffee. Thank you so much, Danny, for all your love and support through the years. I'd like to give a big shout out to Pods R Us. Pods R Us is also a longtime supporter of Cream in My Coffee podcast and now Milkshakes and Ghosts. Pods R Us is a digital creator. They post weekly updated top 10 best podcasts to listen to. Let Pods R Us help you find your next podcast. I will link their Instagram in our show notes.
MNG VIP members also include the Paranormal Duo, Laura and Joanne, Ricky M, Bruce the All Spooky, Harmony, Joan of Arc, The Dark Side, Ronald H, Joe Santana, Myra Morales from That's So Spooky, Jada Kumar H, Tony S, James from The Truth Is Out There, Nadia and Edward, Carl and Becca, Mandy and Kenneth, Jules and Christina, Joel from the Paranormal Countdown, Alan, Death Star 1, PR Princess, Maxine, UK Ghost Haunts and Hunts, Terror Screams, Jules M, Victor and Myra, Linda and Colin Gavenport, Haunted Canadian History, Melissa and Dan, The Truth Is Out There with Carly and Allison, I'm Haunted by David Becker.
Thank you all so much for being Patreon members. We appreciate each and every one of you.
And remember, keep drinking milkshakes
And keep being spooky!
Spooky season, 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 spooky season.